everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Louise and I make videos all about my life living with scoliosis and spinal fusion. For those of you who don't know, scoliosis is a sideways curvature of the spine. My case of scoliosis was severe and I was diagnosed when I was 14, and I had spinal fusion surgery to correct my scoliosis in 2010. So if you're interested in finding out more about scoliosis and what it is, I do have a video all about that which goes into more detail. In this video, I wanted to talk about the festive period and the impact on my back and some tips that I've discovered over the years on how to cope with the festive period and back pain. Now, I love Christmas, but I find that many festive activities such as Christmas shopping, decorating the Christmas tree, wrapping Christmas presents, cooking, things like that really aggravate my back. And when you factor in time of year as well, and in the UK it's very cold, it just causes me a lot of pain. December can be quite a painful month, and I think it's something that is not always talked about, but I thought it'd be interesting to do a video on this topic, and I would love to hear your own experiences if you suffer with chronic back pain, scoliosis, or any back condition. So if you can relate to anything in this video, then please leave me a comment below. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my top 7 tips for surviving the festive period with back pain. My first tip is to do your Christmas shopping online. That sounds fairly simple. Most people do their shopping online these days, but I've always tried to do as much as I can when it comes to Christmas shopping online. A full day walking around the shops with, especially carrying shopping bags, will just cause me a lot of pain. So I prefer to do as much as I can online. If I do need to go to the shops, then I will break up the shopping sessions into smaller chunks rather than having like a mammoth full day around the shops. I'll also try to wear some comfy shoes and take regular breaks so I can sit down where possible. So my next tip is to wrap your Christmas presents sat at a table. So one thing I really struggle with, especially since having my spinal fusion, is wrapping Christmas presents. I find it very, very painful, especially if I'm sat on the floor. I can't really do it. I have to be sat at a table where the presents are at waist height. So something I struggle with every year when it comes around to Christmas is wrapping presents. So I try to always make sure that I'm sat at a table. I'm not doing loads in one go. So I try to spread it out so that I'm wrapping little bits at a time and not doing like a mammoth wrapping session, because I will just be in a lot of pain. All the bending and twisting while you're wrapping, most people probably wouldn't think twice about, but when you've got spinal fusion, it can be very painful. My next tip, related to the last one, is to just don't wrap gifts at all. If it causes you pain, then don't do it. What I've discovered over the years is using gift bags can be quite good because it saves a lot of time, saves a lot of pain. If you can afford it, then a lot of companies will offer gift wrapping services, like Amazon for example. You can just tick for the item to be gift wrapped, and that again saves time but also the pain of wrapping. You can always ask somebody else. I sometimes ask my partner to help with wrapping so that it's not just me doing all of the wrapping and ending up in a lot of pain. And then alternatively, you can just wrap as you go. So when you purchase a gift, then wrap it when you got it, rather than leaving them all, like I've done on many occasions, till the last minute and then having loads of things to wrap up in one go, because that is a recipe for pain in my experience. My next tip is to use a cushion. Now, I love my memory foam cushion. I've mentioned it in many of my previous videos. I've got it behind me. while I'm making this video. I literally have a cushion behind me pretty much at all times, and the festive period is no different. So if you're visiting family for the festive period, or you're sitting on chairs that are different that you're not used to, for example at Christmas dinner, don't be afraid to bring your cushion with you. Another thing you could also do is to bring a heat pad or a hot water bottle. So again, if you're sitting on chairs that maybe are in an unfamiliar environment or at family or friends, then bringing a heat pad with you or a hot water bottle, I found, can really help as well to ease the pain. My next tip is to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help with Christmas activities, which can be very tiring. So things like going into the loft to get all the Christmas decorations out, putting up the Christmas tree, decorating the Christmas tree, cooking Christmas dinner. All of these things can be very difficult when you have chronic back pain. I will ask my partner to go into the loft to get the Christmas decorations out, for example, because the boxes are very heavy. And when we're decorating the Christmas tree, I always make sure to put the decorations at waist height, so I'm not bending all the time to pick up decorations and things like that. So it's little things like that that can help to reduce the amount of pain. Because what I found over the years is that a lot of Christmas activities, such as decorating and things like that, do involve a lot of bending down, twisting, and it's those movements that cause pain. So minimising the amount you have to bend down, or using mobility aids like a grabber, like I've mentioned in my previous video, they can all help minimise the pain that you may experience while doing these sort of activities. My next tip is to make sure that you take regular breaks when decorating or cooking or doing any of the festive activities that we've mentioned. So it's really important to make sure that you take regular breaks and sit down if you're doing decorations or cooking or baking or anything like that. Alternatively, if it's difficult to take breaks, then if you're cooking, for example, or preparing food, then maybe sit down while you're doing it. Or again, wrapping gifts, sit down at the table, and that can help to minimise the strain on your back and reduce any back pain as well. The important thing is to not put too much pressure on yourself. This time of year can be stressful, but you need to look after yourself and your back and make sure that you can at least enjoy some of the activities rather than being in pain the whole time. My final tip is to make the time to move, stretch and be active where possible. I often find that Christmas in general is a time where the majority of people are less active than they normally would be, just due to the fact that it's Christmas and people are relaxing and partying and just off work, which is completely fine. Everybody needs a rest. But I feel like when you have chronic back pain, it's really important to keep moving. The more sedentary I am, the worse my pain is. So for me, taking regular breaks from sitting around doing nothing is vital. So whether that's going for a short walk to get some fresh air, or doing some stretches to help release my muscles, then I find that's really important. And I think if you have chronic back pain or scoliosis, it's really important to try and fit in those sorts of activities as much as you can during the festive break, even if it's just a short walk to break up the day. So these were just a few of my own tips of living with scoliosis for so many years and going through lots of Christmases. Obviously they won't work for everybody, everybody's different, every case of scoliosis is different, but if you can relate to anything that I've said in this video, or if there's anything you'd like to add, so things that have helped you deal with your back pain over Christmas, then please give me a comment below because I would love to hear from you. If you've enjoyed this video, then please feel free to subscribe because it really helps me out. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest and TikTok as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video and Merry Christmas.